Shalom Chavrim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. A very disturbing story this morning sent to me by Shaw on Twitter. This is from Victorus Libertas website here. I did a little checking on the website to try to get an idea of the authenticity of this news here. But, of course, the article on here, breaking, Israel embedded with ISIS in Mosul. Now, some might question that, but any of those of you that have been following Israeli News Live here, INL, for about 2 years, we have broke this story ourselves already, not from hearsay and not from Iraqi refugees, but directly from Israeli military former Israeli military that shared with us in a private interview inside of Israel that yes, indeed, many of the leaders of ISIS were known to have been wearing tzitzit, knowing that they were actually Israelis working in with the ISIS members. And this is very disturbing for me to hear this yet again, and now to see an article only to confirm it. And this broadcast is going to be a prophetic broadcast. I want to talk to the people of Israel, my own people, very directly about this because it is a stain on the Israeli flag, the Jewish people themselves, for this to be happening once again. Anyway, so it says, breaking, Israel embedded with ISIS in Mosul. It has been speculated that Mosul will take until around the end of December to conquer. Many suspect more than 30,000 deaths will result, according to an anonymous inside source. Intelligence reports that many of the ISIS leaders speak Hebrew. Members of the Iraqi army are reporting that the first refugees are swearing that at least 10 ISIS leaders spoke Hebrew to each other and also had Israeli walkie-talkies, guns, cell phones. Our sources says they also spoke Arabic, but with a strong Israeli accent. However, none of the mainstream Western media is mentioning any of this. These leaders left 5 days ago and met no resistance from either Iraqi, Turkish, or U.S. forces. So where did they go to? Have they been moved into Syria for the next conquering point of the New World Order, U.S. Military backing the moves of the Vatican, Esau's descendants, or what? Now, it's just troubling to me to no end to find out that our own people, Israelis, are now in an article claiming that they're working with ISIS inside of Mosul, all the way clear over to Iraq. And again, we can corroborate this story because we have our own intel source on the ground inside Israel, former Israeli military officer that has confirmed that yes, this is true. And that this something that we've known about for 2 years and have already brought this to light on Israeli News Live and even have brought this out before on Hebrew Nation Radio in an interview that we shared with them. So I am very concerned about this. And the reason I'm very concerned is because I want to share with you, to the people of Israel, to our own people there, because we're seeing all the nations in turmoil all around Israel. And yes, there are prophetic stories about this. Nahum speaks of Mosul or Nineveh, that who will bemoan her. And you know, isn't it interesting that Nahum would say that? And you know, if you look at Nahum, that's another one altogether. But Nahum actually makes that comment there. Actually, I'll do it like this here. See if I have it handy here. Yeah, I actually have Nahum open from where I was looking at this earlier. Excuse me, I don't have Nahum open. I have Obadiah open, but I should be very close to Nahum as well. Nahum actually speaks about Mosul, the ancient city Nineveh, actually sits there in modern-day Mosul today. And it says in chapter 3, verse 7, "And it shall come to pass that all that they look upon thee shall flee from you, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Hence shall I seek comforters for you, for thee, for Nineveh." Why would he say that? Well, look at the article right here, and this here is on Jerusalem Online. Mosul, ISIS executes 284 men, throws their bodies into mass graves. 284 men and boys were executed by ISIS in Mosul. This is on October 22nd that the story is coming out. Now, we know the Israelis left 5 days ago, so we can't say necessarily they were involved in that, but they may have been. I can't exonerate them from this. But 284 of them are just executed, murdered, and thrown into a mass grave.